are moving as economic migrants, as temporary migrants, as independent migrants, largely for survival. And this is mediated by gendered development processes which marginalize women from education, from employment, that disproportionately discriminate against women in conflict and in natural disasters, and that facilitates gender-based discrimination and violence against women, often making migration the only viable option for women. Thirdly, in the context of globalization with its unregulated market model of development, in the context of globalization where we are seeing changes in the patterns of production, distribution, consumption, driven by a profit-oriented growth model, and in the context of globalization where we are seeing changes in the relative shares of economic sectors and a growing or an expanding service sector, what we are seeing is the emergence of women-oriented sectors of employment. And our women migrant workers are being drawn into these sectors, into formal employment, but the bulk of them into informal employment in the manufacturing and service sector with gross human rights violations. So in labor-intensive export-oriented production, in subcontracted piece-rate flexi production, in domestic work, in the hospitality sector, and the like. And you have a whole slew of gendered perceptions, attributes, skills, attitudes towards skills, attributes, etc., which reinforce women's recruitment into these sectors. Fourthly, we are seeing changes in demographic patterns, which are marked by falling birth rates, by a static declining workforce, and women from middle-income countries or richer sites are being drawn into the workforce, educated middle-class women, to plug these labor shortages. So where you have inadequate state provision of care facilities, or where you do not have a pervasive culture of shared domestic responsibility between men and women in the family, or where you have host country nationals that are better paid, enjoy a modicum of social security, and are not interested in engaging in low-end jobs, then you have a demand for domestic workers and caregivers from poorer contexts. And these women go as temporary migrants. They cannot take their families or their children along with them. So these children are cared for by even poorer domestic workers in sites of origin, or by women family members who do not have or have very limited social protection. And these women then constitute the pool of women at the lowest end of the global care chain who are actually filling in or subsidizing care deficits in richer sites.